go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is on this tantalizing, terrific Thursday. The podcast trio is back tonight. Now, mind you, I ain't excited about this show at all. I ain't got my arms out. I got a full sleeve t-shirt on. I couldn't give a damn less about this show, but apparently we had to talk about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I am that incredible number 2 ranked team in the nation, representative, the only place where they still play real football. I am Mr. SEC. I am C. Turner. And my right-hand man on my left-hand side, but he's still my left-hand man on my right-hand side. Mr. Academics before football. Mr. I support Northwestern, but nobody really knows why. Honestly, if I was from Chicago, I would support UIC instead of Northwestern, but whatever. My dog, my best friend, James Madison Walton III. What's going on, baby?
Hey, what's good, America? Look here, Mary. Let's call a spade, man. I'm gonna verbally slap the hell out of Chris Turner because you guys have not seen the text this guy has been sending the last 48 hours. They have been so disrespectful. Like, it's for real. It's like if you came inside the house and you got one of them old school mamas and you had a black guy and you was late and you came up after the light and the mama said, "Well, what happened?" "Mama, he whooped me." You didn't get him back and you came in late? That's how that felt. It felt like that type of double ass whooping, like him like coming at us like that. So this one's gonna be fun. This one is, I mean, as much fun as we had with our great celebrity guest last show. This one's gonna be wild, man, because this dude is crazy. So I mean, I think we need to introduce our guest, man, because this is your get, man.
I gotta introduce him. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, a officiant of the NCAA, a representative of the Big Ten Conference. Matter of fact, I'm going to put some respect on my dog name. I'm going to give him what he deserves. Ladies and gentlemen, number 15 in your program, number 1 in your heart, Mr. I'll take a sack if you don't want the sack. Mr. I can do it all on the field. What you need? You need an interception? I got that. You need a fumble recovery? I got that. Oh, block the field goal? I'll pick that up too. Michael Bazemore, MAB. What's going on, baby?
What's up, brother? I appreciate that intro. You know what I mean? It's good to be back. Let's talk some shit. We got the Big Ten coming up. You know, the real is back in college football. So I'm happy to get started. Oh, yeah. We starting early. We are starting early.
I just think it's funny how y'all saw how Daddy was out there playing and having fun and making money, and then y'all decided, oh, I guess we can play. Because let's be honest.
Well, we gotta look at this, right? The smartest person is not always the one that's first to the ball. So we let those go out there and see what's okay. You know, we're gonna put the SEC out there because all they care about is football, even though 90% of their teams is trash. So we let them go out there and test it out. Be the guinea pig.
90%. Wow.
You know, once we let the knuckleheads go out there and test it out and come back with more data, then we say, you know what, we'll do it the right way. So here we are.
Just I find it funny how 90% of our teams in the South are trash when only thing people really care about is Ohio State. I mean, that's the only team that has a credible shot of making it to the Final Four, and that's to only be a speed bump for either us or Clemson. So I'm just saying. But
wait a minute. Was it a speed bump in 2014 when they met head-to-head?
That was 2014. That was years ago, motherfucker. So it's
all about when, you know what I'm saying, it's about when these ends meet. Like, let's call a spade about your team, man. I've seen them play the Washingtons of the world. You know, I've seen them play the Notre Dames of the world to get to that championship game.
Yeah.
You know, when they ran into a formidable opponent, they got beat. Last year, in a real football season, they ran into a freshman quarterback and got beat. It didn't even make the playoffs. Like, can we not forget what's going on here with your team?
Oh no, we We won't forget it. I will never put anything past that Ohio State team that whooped us. I won't put anything past that Clemson team that whooped us. I won't put anything past LSU, who whooped us. But all that being said, you know who they never played because that team is just for academics? Northwestern, who should not even be in this conversation.
Wait a minute, though. But at least we compete in our conference. You guys have a Northwestern in your conference.
What? Vandy was good a couple years ago.
Yeah, and then what were they good before then?
They were good in the academic All-American category.
Their greatest team had Jay Cutler on it. Let's put that in perspective.
I mean, he was your quarterback for your 5-1 Bears.
I mean, he was my quarterback too. I shed a tear when he sprained that MCL in that game because we were locking Aaron Rodgers up. But that's a conversation another day. So
that's funny. That's funny. I shed a tear when he got sent to the Dolphins and didn't give a damn all fucking season.
Yeah, he stole that $10 million. That's what's called.
All $10 million.
I think he knew him and Kristen was over. I think he was like, let me go ahead and pony up.
Let me get this money.
Let me go ahead and pony up. But I'm just being 100 with you, man. Like, the Northwestern shots are unnecessary. Because the last I checked, we wanted a championship in the last couple of years. So, yeah. Shout out Screwball.
Shout out Screwball, baby, of course.
I don't see really the need to do that, Chris. In fact, I'm pretty sure Northwestern's going to be right in the thick of things to be in that Big Ten championship this year. I just got a feeling.
Can I let you know what my high school coach told me that like really stuck with me? Can I let you give you some insight?
Well, I mean, of course you can do. I mean, you might want to check with Mike. He was shaking his head no.
Let me give you some insight. You know how people say you never want to kick a man when he's down? That's what people say, right? My high school coach told me the best time to kick a man is when he's down, and then you make sure he stays there. So Northwestern is down, and me throwing these jokes is to continually remind you that they suck and they're academic school. So
it's all right. Hey, at the end of the day, Oprah. We're just always gonna win with that. I'm sorry. Like
there is no comeback to that one.
It really isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like Oprah. Like what are you gonna do? But here it is. I mean, this is really kind of a Mike Bazemore, Chris Turner topic. Obviously, my love and affiliation for the city of Chicago puts me right in the thick of this. But
yep,
I think you just need to reiterate, like, what is with the hatred? Like, that's what I understand. Like, me and Baze, we hate the SEC for our reasons. You know, it's because you guys get a little bit overhyped about things. You guys have 16 teams, and we seem to forget, you know, that 12 of them usually end up, 5-7, 6-6, and playing the MicronPC.com bowl, and lose to a Northwestern who will win 9 or 10 games. I've seen that happen quite a bit in the last 5 years. Or run into a Michigan State in a Capital One bowl and get ran over by the likes of Hoyers and Smokers and Cousinses of all shapes and sizes and cookies. So I'm just trying to figure out, why do you hate us so much? I mean, you chose the ACC to begin with.
Very true. Very true. So here it is. The same reason why you guys hate the SEC is the same reason why I hate the Big Ten, and kind of in lieu of that is the reason why I feel like Notre Dame should be banned from sports. Right now, well, we won't even say right now. Let's give it over the last 15 to 20 years.
Sorry, man,
roughly.
There was a little bit of twerking going on in my house. I just had to.
So over the last.
I'm sorry. I'm getting yoga. I'm getting yoga twerks right now. That's all I got to say. Shout out, Beyonce. Okay, go ahead. Back to your conversation.
So over the last 15 to 20 years, well, 15 to 18 years roughly, it's kind of been an SEC type deal. Okay, we have been overhyped, and then we have been getting that publicity. And it's been earned for the most part from some of the teams.
I agree. I agree with that.
But you got to go back and look at what happened around those years that we kind of graduated, like the 02s, the 01s to like the 90s. that's when the
Some
overhype.
answers. I got some answers.
Hold on.
I can tell you who was winning titles when we graduated. It wasn't the SEC.
That's what I mean. Like, so the hype at that time was you had the ACC with Florida State kind of eking out a couple and Miami eking out a couple.
Okay,
but
I
the
take
camera,
that. It was balanced because the SEC did get a couple. My bad.
right? There was a couple.
LSU in there. You had Florida twice because Tebow's got two. So
Well, no, I'm going back before then.
Yeah,
Back before like the run. So USC kind of started like once we graduated. But let's look back at that 02, 01 to about 90 when the spotlight was pretty much either on the Big Ten and a little bit on the Big 12. And the whole entire SEC was just kind of, oh, well, they just played essentially dumb football, eye football. And mind you, the Big Ten was doing the same thing, but it was because you guys seemingly had faster guys. The spotlight was down there. So my hatred comes from a long line of hatred from being a child watching Ohio State versus Indiana and that game being a primetime game for some reason, or watching a Michigan State game, which I was at in 01, and I had a good time. I'll leave the rest out. But
I'm gonna help you a little bit with this one.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you know, and this is actually a compliment to what Alabama's been able to do over the last 10 years. So this is actually going to help your.
I appreciate it.
In those days, you got to remember, at the turn of 2000, the national champion was the Oklahoma Sooners.
2000 was 2000
it was them.
was
because the year before that, Bays, you got to remember, bowl games get played in the next year. The 99 Florida State team is who you're thinking.
Won the 2000 championship.
But they played the championship 2000, but it was 99 season.
Right.
Then it was Oklahoma. Then it was Miami. Was 01. So you don't even forget, like, I don't even think that Miami was in the ACC yet. That was the Big East.
No, they were Big East at that time.
Okay. And then 02, I'm a little bit shaky.
USC?
Ohio State beat Ohio State. No, I think Ohio State beat Miami.
They were either 02 or 05.
Yeah, that's what that game was.
No, it was my freshman year in college. So that was 01, I think.
So let's put in perspective that the SEC wasn't even in the conversation. The Big East was in the conversation because of Miami. West Virginia had very good teams. And then the ACC was very powerful because of what Florida State did.
Yep.
The SEC powerhouse was Florida and Georgia. Those were the schools that were running everything. And then, of course, the Big Ten, it was just flipping. You didn't know if it was going to be Ohio State. Michigan was always there. Penn State was up and down. They had some chances because they had been, perennial guys throughout all that. So
I think Wisconsin too.
Wisconsin has always
been. Yeah, they've always been like a top 15 team.
That might be a better comparison. I feel like Georgia has become the Wisconsin of their conference.
No. Georgia is Michigan.
No, Wisconsin will actually win a big game.
Yeah.
No, Georgia is like Wisconsin. They get to the championship of their conference, and then that's the game where they can't get over the hump. Wisconsin has
gotten over the hump. Yeah, we fell to Danger Russ. Danger Russ got one off on us. Yeah,
I mean that's a good way to lose. I mean, if you're gonna put Russell Wilson in any part of it, he got us. Then you were gonna get got. That guy is the truth. But
very true.
I guess, Chris, listen, man.
I
wanted to just I wanted this to come from a place of I respect the game of football. And I understand what has been done by Nick Saban. Because let's not forget, it all comes back to the Big Ten anyway. We created him.
True.
We created that monster. You're welcome.
True. Very true.
So we can always shit on your team, Chris, and tell you that it always comes back to us. It's like I was telling you with my uncle, it always comes back to Chicago. Well, when it comes to football, it always comes back to the Big Ten. No matter what level you're going to look at, it is us. That's why everybody was so pissed off when we didn't show up, because they knew that team in Columbus had everybody coming back that needed to come back outside of JK. And they got a good running back right behind him. Okay.
They stay with some sneaky good running backs. They stay with a nice stable of running backs on the low.
And the fact that Justin Fields went from opting out to opting back in, the
We
corner
already whooped his ass.
opted out. I think he's back in. You got a different conversation.
No, the corner's done.
You sure he might come back and play?
Here's the only reason why I know the corner's done. The corner's from Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, put that up there. But the corner already pinned like the little sad-ass letters saying thank you to the fans and the whole city and the school and all that, and put it on Instagram, I want to say like a week or two ago. And he even doubled down on it saying, yo, good luck this season, fellas, whatever. So unless he's going to go back.
By him. If you're projected number 2, don't get hurt.
Done.
Go
Be
run
done.
your 4.4 at the combine and go have some chocolate cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory after that. Chill out to the draft.
Yeah.
Like, you good.
Yeah, just be done.
So, Chris, this is what I want to tell you. Like I told you last year, before we even started this show, I'm going to tell you this because this is what I do. Last year was really the year where your armor, Deshaun chinked your armor.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
You let an upstart team embarrass you on national television.
Yeah.
Embarrass you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got beat by a freshman quarterback who they had no fear. You guys had, even with Mac Jones and the talent you had, look at where these guys are making plays on Sunday. Judy's mauled people. Henry Ruggs had an 80-yard touchdown. I know Bays wants to talk Oakland at some point in this conversation, which I can't wait myself because I got some things I got to get off my chest to both y'all. That team was so talented, Mac Jones or not, they should have been able to beat Auburn, and they would have been back in the conversation. And maybe we're having a different conversation. You know, it's probably worse because you would have lost to LSU twice instead of once. But here's the bottom line. If you believe that Mac Jones, with that lack of defense, is going to actually get through, it's a wrap, dude. The only reason why you guys are undefeated to begin with is because this season is warped. If this was any other regular time and people had time to prepare for y'all would end up, y'all be probably about one loss in right now.
So hold on. Let me get Bays. I'll be quick, then I'll give this to you.
Old Miss almost had you. Lane almost had you.
Almost only counts in pregnancies and horseshoes. So that shit don't matter. So
I thought it was grenades.
Nope. Pregnancies and horseshoes.
Hey, what happens when you get a grenade pregnant? That was a Jersey Shore joke. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, everybody's had the same time to prepare. I don't really give a damn about that whole it's a warp season. Everybody has the same time. All right. Now, I do agree. Last year, it should have went a hell of a lot better. This year, I was a little skeptical about the defense coming into it. It is what it is. They're playing okay. But look at the dynamic teams that we've had. We've had a superstar defense. But on the offensive side, look at who the quarterback's kind of been. Like one of our best teams has been with the average quarterback. Because you got to think back to before Tua, before Jalen, there wasn't a 5-star at quarterback. And don't get me wrong, I love Mac Jones more than I love all of them, mainly because it isn't the Alabama thing. That dude's from Jacksonville, Florida. Like, my heart goes out to the kid because I know the program he came from. I know his head coach. I know his people. So my love is for this guy because you were never honestly supposed to play. And that was one of the main ones who was like, okay, well, he'll be in there about 5 games, and then they're going to put Bryce Jones in, and then you'll never hear from Mac again. This kid's played his way into being a Heisman contender. He won't win it, but he's played his way in.
Fair.
So some of our better teams have been with an average quarterback. So that's where my hope kind of lies, where the offense can offset the defense. So go ahead, Baze.
It's like this. The games I've watched, the SEC has a lot of parity, but not like it has been in the past where you think, okay, maybe some of the hype is real. Let's see how they play when they play the quote-unquote big dogs. But it's just not there. And I do give it to the year because it has been a weird preparation in terms of just kind of, are we playing, we not playing, how many games we going to have. everything in between. But this year, honestly, it's probably going to be Clemson's race to lose when it all comes down to it. So I'd be intrigued to see how we do in the Big Ten if the Ohio State, if the hype is real. I mean, traditionally they do pretty well, but we'll see. I mean, they got a Heisman candidate at quarterback. That's normally always going to be a recipe for success, and they definitely have a solid program. So I don't know. It's going to get interesting, but this year I think everyone's going to have at least like one loss, with the exception maybe Clemson, unless my upset prediction comes to fruition, which is Notre Dame beating Clemson. Upset special, November 7th. Book it.
What the hell, dude? What are you?
Heard it. And look,
They really need to drug
Notre
test you.
Dame, but I'm just saying.
They need to drug test you.
They need to what? Drug test?
You need to be drug tested. Hey, hold on. I love how he got like the Zoom on mute, but like he still has Anchor going so we can hear what he's saying.
Yeah, his whole conversation.
Like it's the funniest thing. So you put the Zoom on mute. You put Zoom on mute, but not Anchor.
I was just trying to hold it. I know how to mute Anchor. I was just was it coming through everything? Did I mess it up?
We can hear you talking, but we couldn't really comprehend what you were saying.
Oh, that's good then. Then if you couldn't comprehend, if y'all couldn't hear it, America's not going to hear. But I'll tell you what happened. It was a tragedy. We going to Chicago, and I bought her these Air Forces for her birthday.
Oh, God.
She got 2 left shoes. She was like, look at my Air Force. I was like, ooh, they look clean. She's like, no, look, I have 2 left shoes. I said, what? Shame on Nike. So that's what happened, America. I'm sorry. Because normally Chris talks through my give me a minutes, and, you know, he's lighting candles with RS bays. I was trying to mute I was trying to mute it, all that. It didn't work. So I'm sorry.
Epic fail.
But it was a fail. But here's the good thing that I know is going to fail. The University of Alabama football team. And here's the bottom line. I'm going to actually say this in defense of Chris Turner. I am an absolute disagreement that Ohio State is still in the rankings. I think that is very disrespectful to the teams that played. And I don't think there should have been any team from the Big Ten that should have been in the top 25 rankings.
Do you see the teams they had ranked? They had
Eastern Carolina.
Top 10. Come on, man.
Eastern Carolina was ranked.
Man, the rankings were so bubblegum. They was ranking everybody. They was ranking. They had Kentucky ranked, I think. Come on, man.
Yeah, they were 12. Man, Kentucky was like 12.
They had Tennessee. Well,
listen,
they don't play well. In my defense, they rank everybody before they play, which is bullshit, I think.
I agree.
So they're ranking you off who's coming back, what you did previously, your head coach, your tradition, all of those things, ancillary things before you even play. So why not rank Ohio State when they got, quote unquote, all these starters coming back? They got a Heisman candidate who's supposed to be, I'm saying, that guy. Why not give them a ranking? I mean, we've seen teams play and they trash. So why not throw? Why not throw? I mean, if it's just a number, throw them in there.
Yeah, I just don't like it, man. I think it's just that's a personal thing to me because I agree with that, and I can understand that's probably some of Chris's, disdain more this year is the fact that Ohio State is ranked probably still 5th or 6th in the country.
They're definitely top 10.
Seen a blade of grass or synthetic turf, but to Baze's point, I do agree. Outside of Clemson, nobody is putting any fear in my heart. So if Ohio State comes up and beats the hell out of the Big Ten, just like Clemson's going to beat the hell out of the ACC, doesn't matter to me because that's what Alabama is somewhat doing. But at the end of the day, they still got to play Auburn, and Auburn got beat by South Carolina. So I know what's going on in the conference. And I think Alabama's very capable of taking that loss the same way that Auburn just took a bad loss. That's a very bad loss because they had an opportunity to put themselves in a position of, if we win the Iron Bowl, You're in. We're not only are we in the SEC championship game, but
you're in no matter what.
Yeah,
you're in no matter what.
So
now, because of that loss, Gus, I'll put this on record. Gus Malzahn will be fired before the Iron Bowl.
I don't think so.
Wow. He make too much money to be fired right now during this year.
Dude, they were thinking about buying him out last year.
But
So
that
if
was
he
before
drops another one before the Iron Bowl,
Now there you go. Now you're talking. You got to put in some.
I'll put it in.
Yeah, put that in. If he loses another game, then yes, I could see that happening because basically they say it's a wash. We still
Yep.
got Bo Nix coming back.
Yep.
We got another year to get these interceptions down. Because obviously he's shown he can win the big game. And he's a great athlete. So it's like we can figure it out and we can keep getting weapons around him. But no, I could see that, dude. I just think in general, I think us just talking about college football is a big waste of time. I was going to say this before we got on the air with these guys, America, but here's the truth. You know how me and Chris have talked about this. We talked about it, Mike Bowen. We talked about it, my uncle, how we had to reverse course about how we felt about the bubble with the NBA and how that actually did count. And that's a legit title for LeBron, even though some are going to go asterisks. But, even I was like, no. My uncle made some good points about it. I was just watching, just to prove it, I was watching The Last Dance yesterday. So that just further let me know. No chance. No chance that NBA could have played in that bubble. They'd have been like, we'll see y'all when we got vaccines and fans. We don't.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
We ain't doing this.
Respect to the 22 teams that were in the bubble and were there.
But you got to think, they came from a different grind, though. Like, they started where they didn't even have live games. Like, dudes came from the 80s where they may have had a real job in the offseason. So it was a different kind of mentality. So, yeah.
Well, let me hit y'all with this question then. Let me hit you with this question. Let's rewind it back 15, 16 years. You're back in college in this COVID season. Could you have survived with all the restrictions?
Yeah.
Well,
I have
honestly.
Within, I'm gonna tell you right now. I would have had COVID. I just know that.
Oh no, I'm not saying that I would not have caught it, but I would have survived.
We would have been throwing them super spreader parties because that 21-year-old me, that dude really for real thought he was Superman. I would have had COVID. It would have been me. I'd have been the
I guarantee
spreading COVID. So
I guarantee I would have caught COVID at least twice during the season.
I'd have had 3 different strains, bro.
Like it would have been bad. Yeah, it's
04 national champion James Walt. You can't tell me nothing, James Walt.
It's a wrap, buddy. It's a wrap. Like you.
I had my NCAA championship ring on my middle finger in college. Do you understand what? There's no way. And Mike Bazemore right now, America, is actually broadcasting from my college town.
Ran by the field today. They was at practice.
Out there crying. Hey, they out there upset. I can tell you that right now with that spring schedule. Boy, I know they are angry. They're playing 4 games, Chris Turner.
They
played 4 games in the spring.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
God, I'd have been like, you know what? It might be time for me to go and take my talents to South Beach or something. And I don't mean Miami. I just mean Barry University. Hey, you ain't gonna have.
Does Barry even have football? Does Barry have football?
They do. I just know Barry's in Miami.
Football.
I just had to.
They are, yeah. They got a good, I think, baseball team. I think soccer. Soccer. They got really.
Of course, baseball. Of course.
It just brings me back to the point. I'm glad you asked that, Chris, in a minute. To me, it doesn't matter who wins this title. This one has an asterisk on it. It just does.
For football?
To me, it does. The college football.
My thing with the asterisk thing is you got to play the games that are scheduled. And, whoever's in front of you, you got to beat them. So I don't know if I put anything in terms of an asterisk because at the end of the day, you got to win those games. Yeah. So everyone's going through the same kind of adversity. So the bubble championship is actually maybe harder because you're on a different type of routine that you're accustomed to. So I can argue that that's probably more difficult than a traditional championship. I mean, but in terms of this,
I'm just saying, just for me, and I'll try to be quick because I know we got 3 minutes for the next segment, but it's just to me because we're missing a lot of what-if games. We're missing the pageantry of college football, which is what if Appalachian State comes into the big house and they block that field goal and they beat you? Like a lot of those games are not on this. That's what I mean by asterisks. I don't mean as in they didn't count what they did. I just mean you didn't have the full effect because conference-only football is not college football. That's not what makes it. What really, to me, makes a season is those first 4 weeks. Is somebody going to go down and have to fight their way back through? You're missing all those elements. That's what I mean by asterisks.
But let me argue it the complete opposite way. So, and I guess I'm kind of pointing the finger at myself on this one. Now, with you just having the conference-only games, it alleviates the whole let me schedule Western South Carolina as the third game, as that kind of that break game. So now it's conference.
Don't forget about the Citadel.
And the Citadel and like Georgia Southern.
Hey,
like
and Sanford. Let's not forget about Sanford. We know y'all play the same 1AA teams every year and win 65-7 or 88-9.
Hey, we play Western. We play Western Carolina
game.
too.
That's their charity game
every year.
That's their tax write-off.
That game is not like those games are now gone. So like the whole cupcake schedule. Now, mind you, we still play Tennessee. We still play Vandy. I think we picked up Vandy this year. I'm saying they're still a cupcake, but they're replacing the out-of-conference 1AA. Now, mind you, it's a cupcake that's in your conference, but these are still SEC guys. These are still Big Ten guys, like you're playing a cupcake in your conference. That's a little bit different than playing Western Carolina that you just gave $2 million to. That's the only reason why I'm saying, like, I get an asterisk. I get it. But at the same time, you're playing conference-only games. All these games actually count. Like, legitimately, you got to win this game to go to the championship, the SEC championship. You got to beat Rutgers to go to the Big Ten championship. It's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, man. I just think it's going to be an ongoing discussion with one of our favorites.
Oh, yeah.
We know is going to be back on and pick his spots. And I mean, we'll be paying attention to his team for sure. We'll be paying attention to Ohio State. Jokes. And Penn State. We're going to be paying attention to the East. And that's me being a Big Ten West guy. We're going to be paying attention to the East because it'll probably be those. But America, I got good news. Mike Bazemore wants to talk another topic. So we coming right back to you here on this next Zoom link. So this one's going to be good because I got some juice on this next one.
Oh, God.
Here it comes. So we'll be right back.